Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Familiar voice, familiar face. Jonathan Wyndham, who is representing the Carolinas in style on The Voice. And this morning, he is with us via Skype. Good morning, Jonathan. How you doing, man?
Good. How are y'all?
Man, you know, we're doing great. And what a great job that you did. If that's the blind auditions, right? What in the world are you feeling at that moment, standing up on stage, doing that song, and wondering if anybody's going to turn around?
It's a weird moment. There's a lot more of a build-up than there is for any other show. I mean, you're talking about months of an audition process that goes from, they narrow it down from 100,000 people to the X number of people that get to do a blind audition. And just that process alone, you know, singing one song, and I've never practiced 90 seconds more in my life.
I can imagine.
So, you know, you go out there, and it was my first time on stage without a guitar because I travel as a guitarist, it was kind of crazy. I didn't want to have a Ricky Bobby moment and let the hands go straight up. So I just, I don't know. It was very surreal. Looking back, it's kind of an out-of-body thing.
So when we look at this and the playback of everything, all the judges turned around, man. All of them. So some people are hoping for one. You get all of them at that moment.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I see your hand shaking in the video just a little bit at the end. Was that just the thrill of knowing, I got them to turn around?
I'm a very energetic person. Normally my gigs are high energy, playing with a rock and roll band kind of thing, whether it's country or rock or something like that. So a ballad where I don't move at all, I had so much energy. I'm surprised my whole body wasn't shaking. I wanted to run laps around that stage. I was so pumped.
I bet. You probably didn't sleep much after that.
No, between that and trying to keep up with Facebook and Twitter, I probably missed a little bit of sleep. But yeah, you're right. It's a very surreal moment. It's cool though. It's very humbling to have four of the best names in music turn their chairs. I mean, it's not like they don't choose the best of the best to coach The Voice. That's what's so cool. These people, many of them are at the height of their careers. Pharrell is just like astronomically high up there.
So how did you make that choice for your judge?
Honestly, I walked out there with no preconceived notion because I was going to be happy if I just had one turn. So I lived in the moment as best I could and tried to discern who is most into me as an artist and who I thought would take me the farthest. And I know in that moment, Adam just pulled on all the right heartstrings.
The Carolinas are definitely representing on The Voice this season. We've got you, and then last night, Beth Spangler from Aiken, she appeared on The Voice for her blind audition, and you've gotten to spend a lot of time with Beth, right?
Beth is good, people. She just turned 30. She's married, like the sweetest girl you'll ever meet. And, I mean, she's technically wise a way better singer than me. I mean, if you listen last night, her runs are they're flawless, flawlessly executed. It's astounding. So yeah, she was on last night. South Carolina can't be more proud.
So South Carolina boy yourself, what was it like growing up for you in the Carolinas?
Well, it was hot.
True that, yeah.
I mean, I love South Carolina. Being so close, like my dad and I would always go to Clemson football games every weekend. My grandfather's in the Football Hall of Fame there. He was a heck of a linebacker. And so we had season tickets all growing up. And so when I think about growing up in South Carolina, I think about going hunting and fishing with my dad. I think about all the weekend stuff. You know, you never think about the stuff during the week. Mom would just, she could straight up cook. She always took care of us while Dad was at work and that kind of thing. And then my mom taught school some while I was growing up. She was a music teacher. So like music teacher's dream child to go on and do something like this,
Very curious. Have you been offered a job at the Cracker Barrel yet? Because there's something
No.
between you and Cracker Barrel. There's this love thing going on here.
There's mad love going on. I just want the apron that says Rising Star. That's all I want. Like, give it to the new waiters. So maybe I should just wait there for a minute. But Cracker Barrel keeps tweeting me, and I tweet back. I mean, it's like an old friend.
And why is it an old friend?
Well, yeah, I was telling y'all earlier when I grew up, we grew up in my parents moved into this 150-year-old house. My grandma called it a shack, but totally not the shack. And my whole childhood, we fixed it up. So I learned a little bit of everything. I would help Dad with the plumbing. When I was super young, that's what you call negative help. You know, when you go to help them, and it really takes twice as long because you've got this little. But it instills a work ethic. So I'm really glad my dad did that and just would let me tag along. But so we fixed up this house, and my mom loves antiques, and she's super chic. And so when I walk into Cracker Barrel, I used to meet my grandparents at Cracker Barrel for breakfast on the weekends. And so there's just like this home value that happens there. And so if I'm traveling on the road and I haven't been home in 8 months, and I get to Cracker Barrel and they have quilts, my mom loves quilts. They have antiques. My parents love antiques. I mean, it's an old looking house. There's coffee brewing all day. You can eat breakfast anytime. I mean, I'm basically home without my folks.
By chance, since you grew up in the Carolinas, it's like known as the Bible Belt. What was your life of faith growing up in the Carolinas like?
Well, I definitely grew up strong in the Lord. My parents are both very, very strong Christians. My first time playing in front of people was at church. My youth minister put an acoustic guitar in my hands because he heard me sing. He taught me a few chords, and he was like, "Why don't you help us lead worship?" And I was like, And yeah, it just grew from there. Started playing electric guitar, and then played at every church in my hometown, all growing up, and led worship for this camp in North Carolina called Fort Caswell.
Cool.
As a part of the production staff. Yeah, I was the electric guitar player and singer, and then taught Bible studies for either high school or college students. A lot of times I get the college class because I was the only one spastic enough to keep 120 students on point. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love my roots. I played at church this past week.
Good for you. That is awesome to hear. We're his radio, so it's a Christian radio station. We're both just getting to know each other. So it's awesome to hear that you are a man who lives in his faith and just not talks about it. That's awesome.
Well, you know, you show the Lord you love him by following his commandments. So
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining us, and we wish you the very best. Can you quickly tell us what's next for you?
Well, I mean, we'll just be watching the show together because I have no idea when I'm going to come on and how they're going to edit it or anything like that. I mean, they could splice it together and make me say something really awkward. But
Well, you know what? We should probably do that too. What can we get him to say? Huh?
If you get creative, you can make it happen.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll watch the show together and just see how it goes from here. Next rounds is battle rounds, where you pair one member of a team with another member with a song that the coach is choosing, and they sing it as a duet. So that's pretty cool. There's some awesome stuff coming y'all's way. If you saw there's a promo from last night that they showed, and you got 2 girls singing Survivor, and it's going to be killer. I mean, it's going to be a great show. So that's definitely awesome. As for me, I'm just going to keep writing in my off time. In Nashville, I've got to write today and to write tomorrow, and I play guitar on some sessions. Sing background on some sessions, so that'll be fun. And just keeping doing it.
Man, looking forward to it. Now I want you to go all the way. Jonathan Wyndham, all the way.
Yes.
Thank you.
Team Adam, all the way. Jonathan,
Thanks,
you have a great day. Really looked forward to talking with you, and it was awesome getting to know you a little bit. So hopefully in the near future, we'll catch up again.
Absolutely. Thanks for including me.
You'll catch all that on the video replay page, by the way, at hisradio.com.